This is the beautiful, glorious, wonderful day the Lord hath made. Let us raise our voices in song and rejoice. Sunday morning, and here we are, coming together from near and far. We're unity, a home for you and for me. I've got family waiting for me every Sunday. I'm glad to see we're unity, a home for you and for me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. Here where we belong with all of our family. Unity, a home for you and for me. The sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy, how about you? We're unity, a home for you and for me. We're so grateful that love abounds with our brothers and sisters all around. We're unity, a home for you and for me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. Unity, home for you and for me.
We got one that works.
Hello. Thank you to our wonderful tech wizard, Lorraine. Thank you so much. And thank you to Jim for our rousing beginning song. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of London, 501 Nelson Street, London, Ontario, where we welcome back our longtime members, returning guests, first-timers, and all of those people watching us now on Zoom and later on YouTube. Please make sure that your cell phones are silenced. Thank you. The Christ candle represents the light that we share with the world. We welcome Dave to light our Christ candle. All right, thank you. This month, the power of is imagination. The color is light blue, as many people are wearing today. It is located between the eyes. The apostle is Bartholomew, who represents positive thoughts held in mind. The affirmation is, I imagine good unfolding in every area of my life. At Unity of London, we celebrate the spirit of abundance, life, and love in our community. As we grow together, we learn the gifts of giving as well as receiving from each other. We are open to new ideas. And through the sharing of mutual support, we find connections which lead to transformation within ourselves and evolving peace. And we have the 5 principles if you'd like to read with me. Number 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and within everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think, what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I create and bring out the truth in my life. I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. Yes, we do. And how do we make a difference? When we practice being the change, smiling at or greeting others we meet, volunteering our time to help out. We are inspiring people to make a positive change in the world. Be the change. We coexist by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers in all walks of life. We provide book studies, online prayer, Monday to Friday mornings and Tuesday evenings, as well as online courses and spirit groups. And we have another song by Jim.
It's Father's Day, Kate.
Okay.
Talk into the mic so they can hear you at home, Jeff. When I was 7 or 8 years old. Oh no, older than that. No, that's another story. When I was 13 or thereabouts, and my father and I had an argument. Now, my father and I argued very seldom. He wasn't an argumentative kind of guy, but I was kind of mad at him because he didn't. I wanted to go and do something, and he didn't want me to do it. I'm still convinced that I was right and he was wrong. But later that day, week, whatever it was, shortly after the argument, we were watching the Donna Reed show. Remember the Donna Reed show? Yeah. And on the Donna, this was an episode about Jeff, the young boy, and his dad, the good doctor, Carl Betts, and they had a big fight about something. It looked like pretty serious, like this was going to be a real problem for the two of them. And in the show, I mean, it's a corny show. It's a corny song too, but it's a beautiful song, right? Jeff sang this song to his father. He and his band are rehearsing for a show or something, and I sat there. My dad wasn't there. My dad was out of town. He traveled a lot, so he wasn't there that night. But my mom and my sister and brother and I were watching the show, and I started to cry because it was. I thought, how stupid was I to have an argument with my father, the most wonderful person I knew, the most wonderful man I knew. And I had to get up and leave the room. But this is the song, because young Jeff was singing this, and I watched it again this morning, and he's crying. They're actors, but still. He's crying, and his dad is crying too. It's beautiful. He isn't much in the eyes of the world. He'll never make his story. No, he isn't much in the eyes of the world, but he is the world to me, my dad. Now he is a man. To me he is everything strong. Oh, he can't do wrong. My dad he understands when I bring him troubles to share. Oh, he's always there, my dad. I was small, I felt 10 feet tall when I walked by his side. Everyone would say that's his son, and my heart would burst with pride. My dad, I still love him so. I only hope that someday some young son will say, my dad. Now he is a man.
Thank you so much, Jim. That was a sweet, sweet song. Unity was formed on prayer. Silent Unity started over 130 years ago by our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, who used to reply to prayer requests by handwritten letters, later by a team of typists, and now we can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY and receive one-on-one prayer 24/7, 365 days a year. This wonderful service is also available online if you're not a phone person. And here at Unity at 501 Nelson Street, we have a prayer box at the front of the sanctuary where you can put the first name of the person you wish to pray for on a slip of paper and put it in the prayer box. The prayer requests are then prayed over by our prayer chaplains and then are sent on to Silent Unity for 30 days of prayer. The prayer chaplains in attendance today will now gather around the prayer box for a prayer to bless those names inside. Where we have Dawn, Pauline, Lorraine, and Lindsay. God, we bless those people whose names have been placed in our prayer box, and we see them divinely guided by the love, faith, courage, will, all the powers that our God gives us in their hearts as we join together. And so it is. Amen. Today after the service, we have, you can pray with Dawn, actually. It says Kate, but that's not right. One of our prayer chaplains. She'll be in the fellowship room, and you can just tap her on the shoulder, ask her if you would like to pray with her, and she will take you off to our beautiful new prayer room, the Myrtle Fillmore room. It's got a plaque, a name, and everything. It's beautiful. And our online prayer chaplain, Wilda, will also be available to pray with anyone who would like private room to pray with her online. Now let's go into prayer. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, or dim your gaze. Take a deep breath and relax into your chair. If you wish, you may put your feet flat on the floor to ground yourself, and your hands facing upwards on your lap. As we come together this morning, we are grateful for the opportunity to spend this time with our Unity community. We bless everyone attending spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. We bless all those watching on Zoom at home and those who will watch us later on YouTube. This month we hold in prayer Unity Center of Winnipeg and Silent Unity. Today as we pray, we are grateful for this time together. We go to our heart space and center ourselves on God. We take a deep breath and whisper the names of the people in our lives who need prayer. Beloved Spirit, when we connect with you through our hearts, we are grateful for the power of imagination that is flowing within us, through us, and around us. We are grateful for the thoughts and ideas that are divinely given to us and use them to expand our energy out into the world, to help our fellow humans and to learn and grow. We affirm that the impact of our imagination, thoughts, and ideas have on the world multiplies when two or more energies combine. We deny that any negative energy has any power over us. We are stronger together in spirit. A special thank you to all the fathers and fathering people who bless us with their unconditional love every day. And so it is. Amen. And now I invite my platform assistant, Renee Sawa, to read the daily word and introduce our speakers.
Merci, Madame. I know I was pretty quick, right? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today, Father's Day, is a blessing for fathers. I celebrate fatherhood and bless all fathers today. Today I bless my father and give thanks for the part he played in my life. I also bless those who showed me fatherly love, who taught and guided me, who led by example by demonstrating the divine attributes of strength and wisdom. The love and support I receive from all the father figures of my life helped me become the person I am today. I am grateful for these special ones who saw my potential and encouraged me to reach high and pursue my dreams. I am also thankful to them for the encouragement they provided during times of disappointment and discouragement. I bless the world's fathers and pray they know the support and guidance they have so lovingly shared with me. From Proverbs 27. The righteous walk in integrity. Happy are the children who follow them. Today, this Father's Day, we have a special surprise. Our 4 speakers, not one, but 4 speakers, are each beloved members of our Unity of London community. Please join in welcoming me as they share their perspectives of fatherhood and grandfatherhood, Mr. Jim Chapman, Mr. Scott Duncan, Mademoiselle Marie-France Vermette, and Teresa Van Diepen. It's a little wet.
But not all together, right?
Well,
Pauline, what I don't understand is if we all speak for 20 minutes, we'll never get to lunch. Actually, Pauline was kind enough to remind me to keep it short. And I can see the clock. I just make sure. Okay, we're starting now. All right. Father's Day, a very special day to me because, as I said, I had an amazing relationship with my father. He was a wonderful man. He was a combat vet in the war, and that troubled him for the rest of his life. He wrestled with some of that. I think today they would say he had PTSD, but he didn't let that get in the way of being just the most wonderful father I can imagine. And I know not everyone has that experience, and sometimes I've been in situations where people have been talking about their fathers, and I've kind of hesitated to say too much, because I know it's not necessarily everyone's experience, but it's my experience. He was a wonderful, wonderful man, quiet, soft-spoken guy, fairly well-read. I gave the eulogy at his funeral, and the line that I just came to me instantly, and it still is the only thing I can remember from that day, honestly, because it was very traumatic. He left us very suddenly. And it was, if you were cold, he would give you the shirt off his back, and that's exactly the kind of man that he was. So I grew up, I guess in a way, in the song, wanting to emulate my father, but I couldn't. We were very different people, and one of the special things for me about him was that he recognized that before I did. My goals, my hopes and dreams, particularly after I got to be 14 or 15 or decided I was going to be a rock and roll star, that's not the kind of life that had any relationship at all to the life that he'd lived. And I had many friends in the same situation as I was, whose fathers became very antagonistic to their dreams. My father was just the opposite. He and my mother could not have been more encouraging. Even when I dropped out of high school to pursue this, my dad said, if this is what you really want and you're willing to work hard at it, then you go and do it, Jimmy. 3 things that my dad left me. 3 things I'd like to share with you today, very short. The first one is I came home from school, from the Western Fair. This is the story when I was 7. In those days, you could go to the fair when you were 7 or 8 as long as you went with some of your friends, which we did. I came home and I was obviously not feeling too well, and Dad said, what's the matter, son? I said, well, this boy at the fair, he said some unkind things to me. Today, I don't know what they were. I can't remember, nor is it worth remembering, I'm sure. But he said, well, why do you feel bad about that? And he said, well, he said this, and he thinks this. And he said, son, I'm going to tell you something that is going to stick with you for the rest of your life if you're smart. What's that, Dad? He said, whenever something like this happens, consider the source. And I didn't understand it for a second. Consider who's saying it. Who are they? What acts do they have to grind? What problems do they have in their lives? And then we talked a little bit about it. He said, you don't know who those people are. And if you don't know who they are, what does it matter to the way you're going to live your life, what they think? It doesn't what they say. It makes no difference. Now, when I get into the media and got into politics, there's a lot of stuff came my way, a lot of unpleasant stuff. And every time I heard something or read something, I just thought back to Dad, consider the source. Do you care about that person, about their opinion? Not really. There you go, son. The other thing that he would say over and over again to me, which I really try to live in my life these days, was it costs nothing to be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. And I can't say that I think of that in those terms every day, but I know what drives me, and I've spoken about this here before, to me the essence of unity is kindness, and that's the essence of the golden rule and all the other really solid principles of how we want to live our lives. Be kind. If everybody in the world was just kind to everybody else, the world would be a paradise. And the third thing that he told me that I think of almost every day, because I think of him almost every day, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. As he would say, don't half-ass it, son. If you're going to do it right. And the corollary of that, of course, is if you do it right the first time, there's no need for a second time. So that was my dad. Consider the source. It costs you nothing to be kind. And if it's worth doing, do it well. Thanks, Dad, for all those words of wisdom, and I'm thinking you today and every day. I only said this to my dad once when he was alive, and I regret it that it was not more than that, but he was not that kind of guy, but I'll say it today. I love you, Dad.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Pauline for letting me share some of my memories and my philosophy of my dad. One thing I do want to point up and take a couple of minutes of my time is During my studies of psychic things and spiritual things, I've learned, did you know that we picked our own parents? We picked them, our own fathers and mothers. And not only did we pick them, but they agreed to be our parent because they knew the lessons we needed to learn, and they could help us with that. And I've kind of never forgot that and thought that was kind of important. My dad was an alcoholic. He was a sober alcoholic, but he was still an alcoholic. And I grew up in a house that was steeped in the AA philosophy. Now, I know those of you that are in the program, you know things like one day at a time, think, think, think. All those different philosophies have held me in good stead over the years, and it was thanks to my father. A couple of cute stories about my dad. I was probably about 6, and from a very early age, the power that I have always sort of really hung on to was the power of will. I have a very, very strong will, and I'm sure those of you that know me know that very well. Well, one day I got angry at my father, and I informed him quite bluntly that I was going to run away. And he said, very serious, very quietly, well, I would think about that if I were you. And I'm like 6, and I said, why? He said, it's like this. He said, when you run away, you can't come back. And I said, why? He said, because we're going to rent out your room. And to a 6-year-old, that was like, going to rent out my room? Oh my God, So I had to do some serious thinking about running away. And one of the other stories was I was a teenager. Now Jim is in my age bracket. Anybody was a baby boomer certainly knows this. Back in the late 60s, I was in grade 13. And I did have hair back then, Jack. Like you, I did have hair. Well, all the boys decided they were going to grow their hair long. And so starting in your age of grade 13, we all started growing our hair. And I came home one day and said to my dad, well, I'm growing my hair now, Dad. All the boys are doing it. And he just put the paper down very quietly. And he looked at me and he said, no, you won't. He said, we get our hair cut every 3 weeks in this house, and I pay the bill. And he then snapped his paper, and that was the end of the conversation. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. It was just a fact. And I remember going to school the next day, and some of you people would understand this, and I was telling my friends that I couldn't grow my hair. And I told them what my dad said, and they said, you let your dad talk to you like that? I said, yes, I do. He pays the bills and I've got a TV in my room. But I'm going to tell you one other fact, which to me is very important. Because when I came out, and that was in 1974, over 50 years ago, the first person I told was my dad. And I told him in a restaurant because I knew he wouldn't break down in public. And he didn't. And he just seemed to accept it. And afterwards I said, some weeks later, you don't seem too upset about this, Dad. I mean, I'm gay. And trust me, my dad was not gay. He was as straight as they come. And he just said, well, you had to accept me as an alcoholic. I'm going to have to accept you as a gay man, or I'm not going to see much of you, am I? And I said, you're right, Dad. And so all those different stories show you the kind of dad I had. Jim's description of his dad was a lot like mine. We were as different as day and night. And yet he loved me very deeply, and I loved him very much. Thank you for letting me share.
Father's Day is a beautiful celebration, but it can bring up some complex emotions, especially for me. I wasn't blessed with the traditional father-daughter relationship. But the universe has a funny way of providing exactly what you need. In my teenage years, I was offered an opportunity to go live with my aging grandparents. And it was there that I developed this deep, unshakable bond with my grandfather, Adlor Vermette. When I first came to Unity, I felt an immediate wave of familiarity. I realized my grandfather was very much like Charles Fillmore. He completely embodied living as your authentic self. Today, I want to honor him by sharing some of Grandpa Vermette's practical spiritual wisdom. From the moment you entered the door, Grandpa would be sitting in his lazy boy, waiting for you. He had that magical twinkle in his eye that reminds you of that pure curiosity of a child. He was witty, full of jokes, and if you had a problem, Grandpa had a solution. He would get very, very creative when he would solve his problems. As he aged, things began to become difficult for him, physically challenging. Instead of quitting, Grandpa adapted. He absolutely loved ice fishing. When he lost his license and could no longer drive on the ice, he also suffered severe arthritis and gout, so walking was very challenging for him. Instead of accepting defeat, Grandpa adapted. He didn't give up. He took a bicycle, fitted it with skis, and had it towed on the ice so he could continue his passion of ice fishing. Throughout his life, he faced many challenges. He solved them in his own unique, unconventional way, and sometimes that way didn't please everyone. They were humorous choices, and when we shared those stories at his funeral, we were laughing. Whenever I came to him heavy with guilt with the mistakes I would make, he would gently remind me, live and learn, because for him, the mistakes were just a misstep, a lesson. And he would say, hopefully you learn from that, and you won't repeat it when you do it again. I used to be a master of anxiety. I would ruminate over the worst case scenarios for things that hadn't even happened yet. And my grandfather, he would instantly ground me. He would tell me, stop borrowing the trouble from tomorrow. If it comes up, deal with it then. As a child, I was terrified of death and going to hell due to a fear-based religious upbringing. My grandfather completely dissolved that fear. He said, don't worry about that. We're not going there. Hell doesn't exist. As a child, I would often ask him, hey, Grandpa, are you afraid to die? To which he would reply, nope, because I'll be dead. When he departed, it was completely on his terms. He had a heart attack. He drove himself to the emergency room. My mother was there as he was being admitted. The doctor asked, hey, Mr. Vermette, would you like to be resuscitated? No response. Doctor says again, Mr. Vermette, do you want to be resuscitated? Still no response. My mother puts her hand on her father and says, Dad, do you want them to bring you back? He stood up and shouted, no, 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 you call the funeral home. His final wish was that if he didn't make it home, we throw a party, and party we did. Today, I leave you with the spiritual lessons of my grandfather, Adlor Vermette. Any problem has a solution, even if you need to have to get creative and put skis on a bicycle. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. And even though death is nature's finale, we must live every day with that fearless, childlike spirit. Happy Father's Day to all the spiritual guides who teach us how to live authentically.
You know, we talk, oh, wait a minute. We talk a lot about imagination lately. I did not imagine myself up here a few weeks ago. Really, I didn't. But here I am. And Pauline, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak a little bit about my husband, Jack, as I see and experience him as a father. I am such a crybaby, just, it'll pass, as a father. So this is not about my father, but it's kind of about Jack. Jack was born in the Netherlands in 1943. He comes from a family of 11 children. Jack's mother was very good to him and gave him the attention he needed. His dad was very hardworking and had a big family to support. Times were not always that easy then, but he did his best. Jack immigrated to Canada in 1964 as a young man of 19. After traveling around a bit in this beautiful country, Jack made his home in London. He worked hard and was always ready to serve. I've been blessed for almost 58 years to have this kind, beautiful, and I'm going to say it, and handsome man in my life. We have 3 children, 1 girl and 2 boys. We also have 5 grandchildren. And Jack just loves showing the pictures of his grandchildren. Sometimes I say, Dad, you know, other people have grandchildren too, you know. He doesn't care. He just shows them anyway. Anyway, I still have nice memories of Jack when the kids were little. Usually when Jack was done working for the day and after his supper, he would stretch out on the floor for a little rest. Well, that little rest did not last very long, as the boys would pile up on him and they would wrestle and they would wrestle. Our daughter did not join in, a little too rough for her. For many years after the harvest was done, Jack took all our family for a weekend to the Wheels Inn in Chatham. I don't know if anybody remembers the Wheels Inn. Well, this was a reward for the kids for helping and being good while Dad was so busy. Jack took all of us to Holland to spend time with his family, especially Oma and Opa. This was a wonderful family time. In 2008, Jack retired. He spends more time now helping the kids. He enjoys helping them with their yard work and any other jobs he can help them with. They know they can count on their dad to help. It only takes one phone call. It makes him feel so good to help them. I asked our children to tell me in 1 or 2 words how they see and feel about their dad. Our daughter Jackie said, warm. Our son Douglas said, loving. Our son Paul said, patient and understanding. I have to agree with all of it. The kids all call him Papa, and I've gotten used to it too, so I say Papa too. So I am ending my story and wishing all fathers a happy Father's Day, not just for today, but for every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim, Scott, Marie-France, and Teresa. Jim, you're great, Dad. You were so blessed with his wisdom and guidance. Scotty, we picked our own parents, and AA philosophies are very useful in daily life. Andy had a great sense of humor, it sounds like. Marie-France, you loved and learned resilience and problem solving from your grandfather. And Teresa, we learned a bit about Jack, who is a father, grandfather, who is still a hard worker, but a loving dad who the kids can count on. And that's the most important thing. So thank you so much to all our speakers. That was very heartwarming, I tell you. Okay, so we have another song, and it's going to be by Jim and Irina Kovalevsky.
What am I doing? Got to plug it in, right? Yeah. Yes. She was going to remind me to plug it in. Well, turn it on too. Remember? My dad also said, always be ready when you start your job. Your tools are in place and everything's ready to go. All right. Thank you to all the other speakers. I've really, really, really learned a lot from all of you. And it's nice to know a little bit more about my friend Jack, too. None of that came as a surprise to me, and I think that says something about the man that he is, too. None of that was surprising. It all makes sense. Now, though you know, many people know that, everybody here knows that Carlin and I were not blessed with children. That wasn't in the cards. But I've been very lucky that I've had a chance to not be a father to children, but to be around children for much of my life. My nieces and nephews, and as they grew, that their kids and other children too, including this beautiful young woman here. Ari and I have I hope, a special relationship. She is so talented, and I'm thrilled every time I get a chance to do anything with her. So with Father's Day coming up, and I know that she has a good relationship with her own father, I thought, I wondered if we could write a song together and perform it for you, and share our thoughts, because we talked about, this is the way we both feel. So this is Ari and Uncle Jimmy doing a song together. Okay?
This is a song for our fathers, a song to say thank you for all that you do, from all of your sons and your daughters. We want you to know that we love you. Father is often not easy. The stresses and strains make it hard to get by. Coping with children who sometimes bewilder you just leaves you wondering why, oh why, oh why. It may seem too often we take you for granted. We don't want to listen, we want our own way. But sooner or later, most of us grow up, and that's when we realize we need to say, this is a song for our fathers, a song to say thank you for all that you do, from all of your sons and your daughters. We want you to know that we love you. Fathers and daughters have a bond that's so special. You were the very first love of my life. When I'm a father, you act like a father and teach me to tell wrong from right. And on those sad days when I take you for granted, there's one other thing I pray you know for sure. You're my loving father, I'm your faithful home will always enjoy. This is a song for our fathers, a song to say thank you for all that you do, from all of your sons and your daughters. We want you to know that we love you. We love you. We love you.
Wow, thanks, Jim Arena. That was a beautiful song. Wow. And lots of words to remember. Holy cow. Good job. Okay, so it is our sharing of talents, time, and treasures at Unity of London that keeps us thriving as a community of spiritually uplifted individuals, united in love and fellowship. And as Dave and Renee go around to collect your offerings, we affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all spiritual communities in all forms, in all realms, body, mind, and spirit. Thank you to Dave and Renee. And we'll say our prosperity blessing together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And thank you. And we have some announcements. Today we have our sacred circle from 12 to 1. And anything that's said in the circle stays in the circle. Pizza and principles at Unity on Sunday, June 28th, after service until 1:15 p.m. And we will discuss the discussion of basic Unity principles. For new members, anyone welcome to attend, and sign-up sheet, and there's lunch provided. So pretty not hard to say no to that. Wednesday music nights, June 24th this week. Jim Chapman presents the young ones, Paul Langiel and Sam Hornby. And that's great for $10. And then we will say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. And now let's gather together in a circle for our peace song. Okay, if anybody would like to leave early, then this is your chance. And if anyone like to say anything about the talks or anything at all, that would be